Warning. Warning. This is not a test. This is not a test.
Drop it.
Seven races down, 8 on deck here tonight at Darlington Darlington Raceway as we get going for the OB Builders Cup Series and the Moonshiners Racing League here on Ballin TV. Good evening, everybody. Welcome on in. Nick Stein, Jeremy Miller on the call for this one. The Thomas Mullins 200 from Darlington Raceway here on Ballin TV. And it is expected to be a good one. We got a good points fight heading into this. This is race number 8, the Darlington 200. And fun fact, your top 3 in points are separated by 3 points heading into this race, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's been a very intense and close season. A lot of drivers going to be vying for the win today. Quite a few people with really good pace looking in practice going to be putting up quite a fight out there in the top 10.
As we come in for Google Earth View, the Lady in Black, the affectionate nickname of this place. Of course, the egg-shaped oval here. Of course, you see 1 and 2 wider than 3 and 4. Very, very fun place to drive, especially in these Cup cars. So it will be very, very fun to watch these guys battle it out. 147 laps on the books here. And yeah, like I said, going to be a very fun race. You got our points right here. Randy Mullins did take over the points lead after Shane Davis did not show up last week. And you see there the top 3 points separating them in a playoff format. Just insane.
Yeah, definitely a really strong season from Davis to have missed a race and still be within 1 point of the point lead right there, and showed a lot of speed so far here tonight. I definitely think he's going to be one to look for.
Yeah, he's definitely one that has been a front runner to start this year, especially as we're getting ready to head into the first off week of the year here in a couple of weeks. Of course, we head to Bristol next week, and then we got that week off the week after. So Shane Davis definitely looks like one of the fastest cars. You can see him right here getting ready to set up for his qualifying lap.
Definitely working pretty hard to get those tires up to temp here. Always find this stuff a little funny. But, you know, as a driver, you got to do what you got to do to put the fastest lap time down, and this is kind of the box that they're put in by the sim right now.
Yeah, and especially with how tires wear here at Darlington, I mean, you want to get that lap done as quickly as possible. So always, last week in officials, it was always first lap qualifying. So obviously doing whatever possible to get the tires as hot as you can as Davis headed through turn 1 here. Going to look to take a 3rd pole position on the year that number 79 is. He has been a very, very dominant car in qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to show a lot of pace all the way across the board. We have our first time set down there by Matt Cox with 29.2. Going to see what Davis puts down here out of turn 4.
.354 was his first lap. Matt Cox still up top with a 285. Corey Moore and Sean Rogers, the only other two to set times so far, as Greg Carr just put one in. Mullins heads to the top of the board with a 29.046. And number 54 is your points leader, as you just saw. He immediately gets beaten by the number 9 at Jeffrey Taylor, which immediately gets beaten by Shane Davis up to the top of the board with an 863. First car into the 28s tonight.
Yeah, it's looking like it might be a 2-lap track here tonight. Probably something to do with the track temps, just a little bit cooler maybe, and allowing the tires to come in better for lap 2 than lap 1.
Yeah, we still got a lot of cars left to qualify. Only 9 or 10 so far putting times, but now as the times are starting to come in, starting to see who's good and who is not. We got Alex Coffey, Randy Mullins, and Shane Davis are the only cars to have set 28s so far. A couple cars still setting times here. Sorry about that, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was just going to point out, like, you know, there's so many different lines we've already seen here in qualifying. Like the 2-car there through 3 and 4 up here on the top. Even 1 and 2, he didn't really get as close to the wall as we've seen from some of the other cars. Definitely a track where there's quite a few options for these guys, depending on what they have, you know, built underneath the hood there to figure out where they want to run, where their car is going to make the most speed. See, take it a little bit closer to the wall this time. Going to cut down really sharp on the exit and get plowing down the back straightaway here.
Yeah, meanwhile, Alex Coffey, wow, 28.735 takes pole position, over a 10th and a half, or just about a 10th and a half back to Shane Davis in second. Coffey running that, I believe that's a, that nice looking number 19 for Alex Coffey as he rolls it down pit road. 6 minutes still in qualifying. Good chunk of your field already has qualified. Currently, 23 cars have set time, so about 24 left to actually set. Sorry, 13 or 14 left to set times. That's my fault.
Got a nice jump man 45 here. This is Shade heading down the back stretch, trying to put down the best lap he can.
You see they're crossing the line to start his first lap. Actually, that was the end of his first lap. He put it 21st with that first attempt. He's on a second lap here. Of course, you see our input map there at the bottom. Not exactly perfect, but gives us a good idea what the drivers are doing here. See a lot of brake being used here into turn 3. It's a lot more than you think. Johnny Shade works his way off of turn number 4. He is going to set a 29.004, good enough for 5th place.
The car didn't look too happy out of turn 4, so that's an impressive lap time with what looked to be a little bit of an ill-handling situation for him.
There's another one of the Dig Esports guys, Shane Wyatt, at number 23, working on getting his tires warmed up. Shane Wyatt, of course, in the Yvonne Stewart Toyota throwback. Always a good-looking car there.
Oh, big slide there out of 4 on his warm-up lap.
Oh,
He's gonna slow down and reset. Yep.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of time, too. Well over 4 minutes to set both laps. And for the first time this season, looking at our qualifying times, I mean, I really couldn't tell you who's got a chance at winning this race. This is the first time this season we've really seen it, you know, 5 or 6 cars all within this close of a margin. I mean, what is that, 3 tenths between 1st and 7th? Not even.
Yeah, I'm just looking at 5th to 8th there. We've got 4 cars under the metaphorical blanket. Those guys ran very close lap time, so it'll be interesting to see how they settle out the first few laps. They seem to have very similar pace.
Yeah, from 5th all the way down to 14th are all in the same 10th of a second, from a 29.004 for Johnny Shade in 5th down to Greg Carr in 14th at a 29.094. So very close there for your majority of your top 15. And it kind of thins out a little up top, but I mean, still very, very close times. Is still Shane Wyatt, one of your playoff contenders who's gotten a win already. He won at Atlanta, is working around the track for his qualifying. 29.359 first lap there for the 23, puts him 24th. Still got a lap to run though for the number 23.
Pretty good looking 1 and 2 there. If he just has a smooth 3 and 4 here, he should definitely jump a good bit up the leaderboard from the first lap.
Definitely looks a lot more stable than his teammate Johnny Shade did. Through 3 and 4. Off of 4, crosses the line, 28.957. That'll put him up into the top 5 ahead of his teammate Blaine Wilson. He will qualify 4th as of now. Few others yet to qualify: Aaron Matthews, Barry Sanders, Chris Davis, Ryan Huff, Jared Clark, Matt Mackin, Kenny Coppola, and I believe that is it for those who have not qualified. See Brian Curry there finishing up his qualifying run. He currently sits 18th.
So that's the second of the Tide throwbacks that we've seen out there today. Definitely always a popular one when we come here for throwback weekend. A lot of people love the throwback to those Tide cars.
Yeah, my personal favorites are the ones that throw it back to the Valvoline Mark Martin throwbacks. Those are my favorite ones. And it looks like that's going to be it for qualifying times. Everyone else electing not to set a qualifying time. So in the end, 28 cars set times. And it looks like we're going to have 35 attempts to start the race. So pretty good qualifying session there. Alex Coffey sits up front currently as things stand with just about a minute left. He sits up top with a 28.735. Shane Davis looks to be starting in second. And Darlington, it is definitely one of those tricky tracks in the race. That's why there's this old saying that goes around that qualifying doesn't mean a thing here at Darlington, because it's all going to be about how much you save your tires. So this will definitely be a fun race to see who has that long run call.
Yeah, you're going to be racing the racetrack a lot more than you're going to be racing your competitors tonight. If you catch yourself racing your competitors too hard, that's usually where you find yourself getting in trouble, whether it be putting yourself in the fence, running yourself and your competitor in the fence, or even just cooking those tires a little bit too hard. And really long fuel runs here, you don't want to go too hard those first 20 because you're going to struggle for the next 40 to 50.
Now, I saw Sean Rogers pop up for just a second there. He actually received a penalty for what happened on the final restart last week at Martinsville. He will start from the end of the line. He will go to the back of the field to start this race after he had a lane change violation on the final restart of last week's race. And of course, he ended up winning that race, so he will start from the back here tonight. And number 44 did say a qualifying time, but he will forfeit that as soon as they start rolling. So speaking of, just rolled over into grid time. I guess good enough to go ahead and get our starting grid out of the way. Of course, I said Alex Coffey and Shane Davis first and second. Coffey set at 28.735. Shane Davis with a 28.863. Starting on that second row, your points leader, Randy Mullins, starts third. Shane Wyatt in the number 23 Dig Esports Machine starts in fourth. Blaine Wilson, number 18, will start fifth with Johnny Shade to his outside. Is your top six, first three rows. Tim Wortman Jr. will start in seventh. Justin Belmonte in eighth. Jeffrey Taylor will start ninth. And Brandon Bikey going to round out your top 10.
Starting in the 11th position today, we'll have Victor Fugger and Hunter Carmichael starting beside him in the 12th position. 13th will be Paul Gallimore. Joining him is Kevin Ruff in the 14th and the 99. 15th, we'll have Greg Carr sharing a row in 16th with Darren Mills. 17th and 18th will be Chris Crosby and Brian Curry. And rounding in our top 20 will be Jordan Schmeetz and Brandon Fetterplace in 20th.
Matt Cox, after his race at Martinsville, going to start in 21st. Nick King to his outside in that 22nd spot. Corey Moore, after running up front all night last week, going to be starting in 23rd here at Darlington. Nigel Christensen starts 24th. Excuse me. Nicholas Atwood going to start in 25th. Jamison Middlemiss starts 26th. Sean Rogers set a time and will qualify 27th, but he's going to forfeit his starting spot and start from the back, as we mentioned earlier. And Colt Bleskowski is the final timed car of the night. He sets a 28.695 in 28th position. Rest of your field is as follows: Kenny Coppola, Chris Davis rounded out your 29th and 30th starting positions. Aaron Matthews, Barry Sanders, Ryan Huff, Matt Mackin, and Jared Clark round out the rest of your 35 car starting grid here tonight from Darlington Raceway. And we are getting ready to start rolling here in just a moment. If you're just now joining us, just getting ready to catch the start of the Moonshiners Racing League OB Builders Cup Series here from Darlington. Thomas Mullins 200, and it is set to be a good one. We got a raging title fight going. 3 cars all within 3 points of each other at the top heading into this one. Alex Coffey and Shane Davis have been your championship favorites most of the season. Coffey has not had a run of good luck this year, whereas Shane Davis is looking to get his 3rd win of the year in that number 79. So a lot of differing storylines heading into this one on your front row.
Definitely going to be an intense battle all night here. Definitely. And it's early in the season, but this is a track we come back to later in the season. We'll have some strong playoff implications, and it'll be really important to see who's going to separate themselves from the rest of the boys here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be a race of just testing for the later race. I mean, the fall race is technically a night race, but you still get a lot of good laps because that race does start in the day. So a lot to learn here in this race for later this year, especially if you're up front and in our championship battle. So 4 of your cars in the top 5 in points start in the top 4 spots. So it'll be fun to see how these guys battle it up.
Definitely looking forward to it. Going to be 147 laps of fighting really hard here tonight. Going to be interesting to see how long they can keep it straight here at the beginning and see if we can get some nice long green flag runs here. That's what makes Darlington a really special racetrack.
Yeah, these guys tend to have those green flag runs in those races associated with green flags. And stages for tonight set at 45 and 90. Those will be when points are handed at the end of 45 and the end of 90. And we're going to get ready to get going here from Darlington as the pace car has the lights out. 2 by 2, a lot of rows deep as the pace car turns left towards pit road. It is in the hands of Alex Coffey in the number 19 Toyota Camry as Shane Davis sits to his outside. Working towards the Sim Wrap Market restart zone. Green flag out in the air here at Darlington Raceway. Even start up front. A little bit of wheel spin from the number 19 of Alex Coffey. We're going to be side by side for the lead heading into one.
Some bigger checkups a little bit deeper in the field there. Looks like the top's going to prevail, and Shane Davis is going to take the lead early here from Coffey out of turn 2.
Davis gets the lead. Coffey has to back up, but that may be good for the number 19. He's going to work on saving some tire there. Shane Wyatt gets past Mullins for 3rd. Single file now throughout your top 10 here. First side-by-side battle was Brandon Bikey and I believe Victor Fluger, but they settled it out. And now they're single file pretty much all throughout the field here as Shane Davis leads lap number 1.
Yeah, I already see a couple of cars that have hit the fence once or twice here, but these cars can really handle that here. It's part of what's really changed the way we race Darlington now in the Cup Series with the next-gen cars. Guys are going to be actually leaning against the fence, maybe even using it a little, trying to get that car to point a little for center if you're a little bit too tight.
Yeah, that is something that will have an eye kept on it, I guess is the best way to put that. These guys not allowed to wall ride here, so Little taps here and there are okay from what we've heard, but if you're actively wall riding, you will be parked. So nobody doing it just yet, but do keep that in mind as we get further and further into this race. Davis starting to pull a little bit of a gap over Alex Coffey. This is how it's been all year. Shane Davis just gets out in front early of these things and just dominates these first two stages. We'll have to see if he's able to put it all together here tonight.
Yeah, Darlington is such a clean air racetrack right now. I mean, Davis could be running, you know, 10, 15% less hard on his equipment than Coffey could be right now and setting faster lap times simply because he doesn't have to fight that dirty air through the corners.
Yeah, clean air, incredibly important, and for Davis, I mean, he is just, he is showing exactly why it is so important right now. Coffey fell off another couple of tenths there. 7 tenths is the gap now. Davis is just sailing away early on here, but got to remember Darlington is a long run speed track, so if you have short run speed, better be worried about your long run speed.
It is definitely a long run track, but I will say this is one of those tracks where I have seen short run cars that just don't fall off. You have the right setup under you here of how unique this racetrack is. You could build something that's really good on the short run and really good on the long run. Be interesting to see if that's what the 79 has here today, or maybe somebody a little bit further back there in the field could surprise us in the long run and really cut up through with some better safe tires.
Yeah, that's something we do see a lot, especially in this league. These guys do start out a little bit slow. I mean, you could have this Shane Davis dominating early, but there's going to be someone in this race that is going to have surprising speed that we usually don't talk about. I feel like it pops up at least once or twice every week. Someone gets up front that usually runs a little bit further back, and they ended up dominating the last part of the race. We'll see if that ends up happening tonight. And Shane Davis still out and away as your leader as Brandon Bikey moves to the inside of Johnny Shade. That is for 8th position. Excuse me, that's for 7th position as they are side by side. Right in front of them, Tim Wortman Jr. and Blaine Wilson battling for 5th.
Oh, and they come to blows.
Oh, Johnny Shade just got turned by Brandon Bikey down the front straightaway. Bikey, or excuse me, Shade, I believe, may have gotten away with that. Yeah, a little bit of rear end damage for the 45, but other than that, looks to have gotten away with it.
Somehow no caution here. This is an interesting track with the caution parameters, and I mean, Bikey just misjudged it there, it looks like. I don't think there was any ill intent. I just think a poor decision was made there.
Now Shade falls all the way down the running order, currently running 34th. As a caution is out on the track. Probably a different reason, but we do have a caution. Looks like Jared Clark, maybe.
So definitely some heavy left side damage to that machine. I'll tell you, this is a huge break for Johnny Shea, because that was going to be a struggle bus with that damage.
Got the replay here, gets up into the wall.
Oh, just nowhere to go for the 01.
Matt Mackin involved, nowhere to go for him. Jared Clark slams the wall twice and gets creamed by Matt Mackin later on in this, as we'll ride on board with the 01.
He's just minding his own business here, way behind what should be any issues. Probably gonna, not at all thinking he's gonna have any issues here. Yeah, 21 just lost in front of him. Really unfortunate for Matt, really. Just nothing you could do as a driver in that situation.
Looks like he might be okay damage-wise. Little bit of front-end damage on that 01, but other than that, looks to be all fine. Nobody decides to come down pit road as we're only 11 laps into this race. I feel like everyone's just going to push it to each stage here. I don't foresee anyone, you know, trying any crazy strategies here, especially in these stages and with how short they are as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a little early to probably take the set here. A couple guys in the back taking them, which, you know, isn't a terrible gamble. If we go green at the end of the stage here, they might actually be okay with wasting that set this early if any of them are taking tires. But Definitely want to see if any of those guys do work their way to the front from the back, as it could be a really good strategy call. 10 laps doesn't sound like a lot, but it can be quite a bit over the course of the run here at Darlington to have 10 lap pressure tires.
I heard it described to me perfectly last week when we were in officials. 10 laps at Darlington is about 25 anywhere else, so tires just get absolutely shredded here at Darlington. It is just an absolute meat grinder for the tires. So when you can get in to get fresh tires and lose minimal time because of it, it is always worth getting fresh tires here. So nobody deciding to pull down this time. You see nice little Mark Martin throwback there for Justin Belmonte. Clean looking scheme for the number 60.
It's always just really fun to see all the different throwbacks out here. Just a lot, a lot of variety. Got a couple of similar ones out there. Got a nice throwback here on the 3, throwing it back to Dale Earnhardt. Also could be viewed as a Dale Jr. car, but obviously has a throwback to his father when he ran it. So, and of course, a throwback to the King.
My favorite, by far, is that number 54, Randy Mullins' throwback. Good old Kyle Busch throwback, that number 54 machine. Back to, I believe it was, his 2005 season when he was with Hendrick, if I'm not mistaken. But still a clean scheme there for Mr. Randy Mullins.
To steal the jokes from Kyle Larson throwback this week, and that is a great looking race car.
All right. Advanced level joke there. As we're coming back to another restart here, Shane Davis is the control car. He chose the top line here, interestingly enough. Actually makes a little bit of sense as we come towards the sim wrap market restart zone. Green flag back out in the air here. Davis with a crazy good launch. Mullins is almost going to get clear. The 19 of Alex Coffey as well is now headed down into turn number 1 and 2. Mullins will get clear of Coffey.
Definitely caught Coffey sleeping a little bit there on the jump. That's going to stick with him probably if he gets back in that situation on the way to restart, to be a little more attentive to when that leader's going. But he's going to try to fight right back for the second position here.
Yeah, he's just lucky that he's got a teammate, Shane Wyatt, behind him. He'd probably be losing a lot more time by now if that was anyone else besides Shane Wyatt. But to the inside, Coffey looks into turn number 1. Mullins just going to let him have it there. So Coffey back up into that second spot. He's going to work on chasing down that 70-9 again. Yeah,
19's definitely got some pretty strong equipment under there today. It's, obviously not too much of a fight there for Mullins. A little early to race into her side-by-side and just showing some respect to his competitor and letting him go back around him. But it'll be interesting to see if Coffey can chase down Davis now with the heat cycle on the tires.
Yeah, and this has been, the season-long story. Beast Mode versus Dig. They have been the 2 teams to beat this year, as multiple drivers from each team picking up wins so far this year. Coppola's gotten a win, Davis has a win, Bikey has a win, Rogers has a win. I mean, you look at Dig, Wyatt has a win, Shane Wyatt has one. There's a couple other Dig esports drivers that have picked up wins as well. So these are definitely the 2 most competitive teams in this league, and to see him absolutely just clashing up front is just a sight to see.
Coffey just ran the fastest lap of the race right here on lap 16, so definitely some good pace in that 19 as he's getting closer to the leader. Some really intense battling back here in the edge of the top 10.
It's Victor Pfluger to the inside of, I believe that may have been Brian Curry. Yeah, that would have been for 9th spot. Now he sets his sights on that 3 of Hunter Carmichael in front of him. As that's basically what this has been all year. Just this 5th on back battle every week has just been an absolute dogfight, and it looks like it's not calming down one bit here at Darlington.
The further we get back in the field, the worse the cars are driving, not just because they're running where they are, but also more dirty air back there, and it's so much harder to race for 20th than it is for something. Oh, big moment there to turn 4.
Got another car.
We got smoke in the 1.
Yeah, we got a caution on the racetrack. We got a wreck here in 1 and 2.
I think somebody hit really big against the outside wall. I think it's Matt Cox. If Matt Cox is all but done here.
Oh yeah, that car is just about every word for destroyed you could use. Saw back there Nicholas Atwood with a moment. Oh, Schmeeds got turned off the nose of Curry. Oh, man. Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah, I think Matt checked up for it, and the guy behind him probably thought they had it missed because they were wrecking to the bottom. And, you know, I understand why Matt checked up, but I also kind of agree with the driver behind him that I think if they both held it open, they'd had a better chance getting through it. Just unfortunate situation, you know, never quite sure where the car in front of you is going to end up when they're wrecking, and just somebody made the wrong decision there, obviously.
That's the second straight week we've had a car on top of another car. And last week was Martinsville.
Man, that hurt.
Yeah, that one was another moment of thank God that wasn't in real life.
Ooh, almost came up into some more right there with the broken right front.
So Matt Cox becomes the second car to take flight this year. Joins Alex Coffey last week at Martinsville. For those who have taken off. But Matt Cox more than likely done for the night in that number 32.
Yeah, he does have the meatball, so he is done. That will be a
wouldn't be
poor
surprised
result
if
for him.
wouldn't be surprised if he blew an engine there. A bit of a in-flight turbulence. Remember, take a little break here. Be right back here on Ballin' TV. Stay right here. Take you to the end of stage one.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back live here at Darlington Raceway for the Thomas Mullins 200 for the OB Builders Cup Series. Under caution here for the second time tonight. After Matt Cox took premature flight through the middle of 1 and 2, he has pulled it behind the wall. He is done for the night. We are coming back to a restart here with about 25 to go here in stage number 1. As Shane Davis and Alex Coffey looked like they were setting up for a pretty darn good fight before that caution came out. We'll see if that holds true here as we're coming up towards another restart here. Shane Davis controlling that outside line once again as he heads towards the Simrap Market restart zone. Green flag back out in the air here. Coffey gets a better jump, but that inside line just not able to launch as well as the outside. He's going side by side with Tim Wortman Jr. headed into turn 1.
Definitely hung better with Wortman this time than the previous time. They're going to be side by side out of 2. This can get dicey. They both hold it pretty good. Coffey will slide in behind.
Tim Wortman Jr. has been another surprise too. He has races where he is up here fighting the leaders, and it looks like this may be another race where that number 83 has a chance late as he sits second now, and he looks to chase down the number 79 to Shane Davis as Davis sends it off in a turn number 1 to take lap 23.
Got some more fighting back here in the back of the pack. 28, who was involved in our last incident, looking to be outside there. Gonna still follow down the backstretch here. Got one car pulling out further forward and further back.
And down into 3, believe that is Kevin Ruff to the inside of Randy Mullins. It is. See Kevin Ruff and the number 14, Mullins, and that number 54. Ruff is going to get past Randy Mullins. That is for 6th. So move that 14 up 1 spot closer to a top 5.
That 54 looks like it might be struggling here a little. Almost under fire again from the 3 here of Carmichael into turn 3.
Randy Mullins, your points leader, struggling a little bit here early on. Hunter Carmichael already on the rear end of that number 54. There's a lot more cars behind that maybe won another point here. As Mullins keeps that spot, that 7th spot, for just a moment, but don't be surprised if people start attacking him here soon.
Rough looking on the inside of Wilson here. He's coming forward in a hurry on this restart.
He may be one of those ones that took tires under that first caution. Check real quick. He did not pit under that first caution, so this is just a little bit more long run speed for that number 14. As he's looking to pass Blaine Wilson here into 3 and 4. Yeah, take it to that outside line. As we're seeing Hunter Carmichael looking to build a run on the 54 of Mullins. Off of 4, doesn't look like he really has a run.
This is where a lot of guys are going to start to figure out, you know, where their cars are at, what they were going to need a little bit later in the race. You know, got a bit more to go in this stage, but, you know, they're going to get that caution, probably come down for the tire. Well, obviously come down for the tires, and quite a few guys are definitely going to be looking to make some adjustments to those machines.
Yeah, that's where this chess game is really going to start. Darlington is definitely one of those tracks where strategy is supreme here. So if you are able to cook up another strategy that gains you a little bit more time, the more the merrier. As Kevin Ruff to the inside of the 18 of Blaine Wilson. That is for 5th. Wilson not giving it up easily though, but like I said, strategy is going to be a big part of this race, and whoever is able to cook up the winning strategy on pit road is going to be the one that wins this race. So it's all going to matter about who takes tires, when do I take tires, when do I make my last stop. This is going to be a strategy game that is going to go on for a lot longer than just 29 laps.
We saw Kenny Coppola there take a position from Victor Fruger, who now is going to be under fire from Bikey into turn 3. He's going to lose that position as well. Not a good lap here for the 43 car.
Fluger may have gotten loose as he loses 2 spots there. Moves that 43 back into 11th. As he's looking to get back into the stage points. 15 to go in stage 1. Shane Davis definitely looks like he's got the car to beat so far. He's pulled out over 6/10 up front, and that gap is quickly growing as Coffey is fighting Tim Wortman Jr. now. He is all over the back bumper of that number 83 as the gap grows to 7/10.
Yeah, a lot of race left for Coffey to figure it out, but he's definitely going to need to start getting some better restarts here.
See there, Shane Davis was your all-about sheet metal pole award. Actually, no. Alex Coffey was your all-about sheet metal pole award winner. And see, he's still working. See, producer mistake there. He apologized.
I definitely think Coffey is very clearly the second best car right now, just to be that close to Wortman. Just, it's a lot harder to make the pass here, though, in some places.
We've seen this a lot, though, this year. Shane Davis, he'll dominate these first 2 stages, but someone is going to figure out come stage 3 what they're doing wrong compared to Shane Davis, and he'll have a little bit of competition. So, see, Alex Coffey gets past Wortman there. Not really much of a fight from that 83. I think he's just trying to work with the 19 for now.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's faster than you, and there's just no reason to really fight him once he gets under you there. All you're doing is risking your own race car, especially with the gap they have behind them, the Shane wide. Why it's not that big of a gap. It's enough to still manage your stuff and ride in P3, and, you know, maybe come back at Coffey a little bit later if he's overdriving his stuff right now.
Yeah, once again goes back into that little chess game that you play with everyone. You know.
3 car about spilled his tea there out of turn 4.
Watch that happen. That's kind of why I was talking a little bit slower there. I was watching him try to save that there, because I was debating whether I wanted to call out trouble or not.
A lot of guys seem to get loose out of turn 4 here. It's just something about coming up across those 2 seams from the bottom. Some people just get caught out by it. We see a little bit of nose damage on the front of this race car as well, which could be contributing some ill handling situations for him right now.
And that number 3, believe he may have been involved in that first wreck in some sort of capacity.
He got the wall there.
He definitely got the wall there. Just about got it again there.
Yeah, he is aboard the struggle bus now. This is another one of those goers. Definitely probably went a little bit too hard on those tires and is regarding it right now from what we're seeing out of that car.
Tell you what though, Randy Mullins, he's starting to pull these guys back in that passed him earlier on. He is pulling back in Kevin Ruff pretty quickly, but I mean, Kevin Ruff has been stuck, and I mean stuck behind Blaine Wilson. He has not been able to get around that 18 machine.
Yeah, he hasn't really gotten too close, to be honest, either. Like, they've kind of just had, like, a normal gap to each other so far, and nothing...
Oh, like, no, there's been 2 or 3 times where Kevin Ruff got to the inside of Blaine Wilson, but for lack of a better term, Wilson just bullied him with the dirty air, and Kevin Ruff wasn't able to do anything, so Kevin Ruff still sits in that 6th spot. Randy Mullins, though, he actually just got passed by Brandon Bikey. So Bikey is going to look to start fighting that number 14.
I'll tell you, if you look at the intervals on the left side of the screen here, that lead has been shrinking. Might not be enough to get there by the end of the stage, but we get some green flag runs later with not being interrupted by a few cautions like we've had in this stage. Definitely think that 19 has some sort of 79 here.
Yeah, I had the chance to talk to Alex Coffey after he had run an NIS race last week, and he said that this car he's got is absolutely crazy long run. So we'll see if that holds true here tonight. Definitely looks to be holding true so far, as he's pulled that gap down by a little over 2/10 now. Just gained it in by about another 1/2 tenth there. So Coffey definitely has something longer run. It's just going to take no interruptions from cautions for him to, you know, eke out that advantage.
A little bit of an issue from the 83 Wortman there off of turn 2. He's going to lose a few positions after touching the fence.
Tim Wortman Jr. side by side with Bikey. That is for 5th. Bikey gets a little bit loose there, coming off of 4. Goes up for a little side draft and sends a pretty deep dive bomb. Ooh, man. Mullins thought about it too, and he is going to think about it. He's going to get there as well. So Tim Wortman Jr.
And there's more coming.
There.
Might have a little bit of breathing room here as they're side by side behind him, though. But he definitely is not having too much fun here. He can't wait for that caution.
Set caution 5 laps away here. Coffey closing in on Davis. He's going to catch Jordan Schmitz, though, in the middle of 1 and 2. He's going to lose that 19 a ton of time there. So he loses 2, 3, 4 tenths to Shane Davis just in 1 corner.
Yeah, I can speak from experience. This is not a fun track to race lap traffic. And, you know, it's not always the lap car's fault. It's just such a narrow racetrack. When you have such a speed discrepancy between 2 cars, it's almost impossible to catch them in a good spot. You just got to be really cautious. It's better to lose a couple tenths passing them than to wreck the race car.
Yeah, this is why this is a track that's loved by a lot of road racers, because, I mean, it's so difficult to pass that you really have to judge your runs and really manage where you take your runs. So very, very fun track if you enjoy the left and rights instead of just the rights, or excuse me, instead of just the lefts.
I'm not a very good road racer, but I do love racing some Darlington, so, but definitely a very unique racetrack.
Yeah, Darlington started out as one of my least favorite tracks on this sim, but it's quickly grown into one of my favorites, so I'm always excited to come to the good old lady in black. This Coffey works on trying to close down Shane Davis again. He is not going to get close, though, as we got 2 to go here in the stage. 8 tenths of a second is the gap there. Shane Davis works his way through 1 and 2.
Yeah, definitely not going to be much of a fight here, barring something completely unexpected for the stage points. But, you know, it's good to see this gap so close. It'll be interesting to see if Coffey can go in here, make that car a little better, and put up more of a fight for the lead in the second stage. I definitely think he's got the piece to do it. White
flag in the air here for stage number 1. Davis has led every lap since the drop of the green flag. And working his way through 1 and 2. Looks like he's going to lead another one and take his 3rd stage win of the year and put himself back into the points lead. He's down into turns 3 and 4. Nothing but domination from the 79 here early on. Off of turn number 4, Shane Davis going to take stage number 1 here at Darlington.
Coffee, Wilson, Bikey, and Moles will round out our top 5 for stage points.
Shane Wyatt, Tim Wortman Jr., Kenny Coppola, Kevin Ruff, and Hunter Carmichael round out your top 10. And those who get stage points here tonight for the first time. But Shane Davis leads them all here in stage number 1. That 79 looks bad fast.
Just a really dominant stager, led all the laps, and he's definitely going to be hoping to come down, have a good pit stop, and get back out there still in the lead and continue to dominate.
Pit stops are going to be in order here from Darlington as Davis dominates again. Coffee going to look to make some adjustments on that number 19 Camry and get him back into the fight. A couple other really good cars in contention. Blaine Wilson in 3rd, Brandon Bikey and Randy Mullins in 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Something to look out for here is making sure nobody passes that lap car, pace car. It looks like everybody's going to be good and hit this cone without penalty.
Pit road becomes the busiest place on track here. Lap 47. Just finished up stage 1 if you're just now tuning in. Everybody down pit road here as first pit stops of the night getting underway.
And we're going to see 4 tires and fuel across the board here. Definitely should not be any variation in strategy. And if there is, it is a mistake.
Bikey overshot his box you saw there. Got to make sure to not overshoot that pit stall. It's going to cost you valuable spots here on pit road. Yeah, everybody, and I mean everybody, going up on the jacks here for 4 tires and fuel. Genuinely curious to see what some of these guys' tire wear numbers are looking like. See what kind of a track we're dealing with here.
Great stop for Wilson there. He gets the 2nd. Looks like there might have been a bit of an issue for Alex Coffey in the 19.
Shane Davis wins the race off pit road. Blaine Wilson in 2nd. Bikey 3rd. Mullins 4th. Shane Wyatt got a speeding penalty, it looks like.
Gonna be unfortunate for him. Definitely not a track you want to throw away track position on pit road. Looks like 19 might have as well. He's letting everybody by here down the back stretch.
2 Dig Esports cars, both getting speeding penalties. Shane Wyatt and Alex Coffey taking it to the tail end of the longest line. Here as we get ready to restart in stage number 2. Go ahead and reset your top 10 real quick. Shane Davis gonna restart in 1st. Blaine Wilson in 2nd. Brandon Bikey 3rd. Randy Mullins moves up to 4th. Tim Wortman Jr. moves up into the top 5. Kenny Coppola is gonna restart 6th. Kevin Ruff, Hunter Carmichael, Victor Pfluger, and Sean Rogers, after starting from the back, that number 44 is up into the top 10 for the first time tonight.
And if you're one of the guys who's been running up front, you just spent on pit road here, you know, it's early, it's not the end of your night, but you better hope you did not go the wrong way on your adjustments on this pit stop, because you have a lot of work to do this stage, and you're probably going to be put into some uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, for sure. Just crossed 100 to go here from Darlington. 98 laps to go when we take the green flag. It'll be Shane Davis and Blaine Wilson leading the charge down into turn number 1. This pace car makes that hard left turn back onto pit road. Shane Davis, Blaine Wilson up front as they crawl, and I mean crawl, towards that sim wrap marker restart zone. As they hit the zone, green flag back out in the air here at Darlington. That inside line gets a pretty good launch there. Both Bikey and Davis getting clear of that outside line as they head into 1.
Yeah, definitely a really good restart for the inside again there. Well, actually, it was the outside the previous 2 times for Shane Davis. Just getting really good launches and providing likely a pretty good countdown for the car behind him to get clear for 1-2 right there.
A little bit of nerves here as people still figuring out any adjustments they may have made here. It's Bikey and Blaine Wilson side by side and fighting hard for second. Headed down into turn number 1. Wilson has the nose to the inside, but has to give up the spot as Bikey just has too much mid-corner speed in that number 27.
Yeah, Wilson came right back at him after the restart there. Got a really good run in the turn 3, just not enough to do it on the, fresh sticker tires here. It takes a lot to get past a guy. Contact behind them.
Ooh, Mullins. I believe that may have been Mullins. No, that was Tim Wortman Jr. and Hunter Carmichael. Got a little bit close for comfort there. Through the middle of 1 and 2.
Definitely a great save by Mullins. Got a lapped car up there in front of the leaders already. That'll be interesting on stickers to see if anybody can set a pick and maybe pick up some positions here.
1, 2, 3 have all pulled away here. 7/10 of a second on the last timing loop between your 3rd place and 4th place cars. That time by gap grows just over 8/10 of a second between 3rd and 4th as the top 3 are starting to pull away here. Just now starting to get affected by the dirty air of that lap car, so this will be the first time Shane Davis deals with a lot of dirty air tonight.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you've been in clean air all night, like when you get into that dirty air situation that you haven't been in, especially on fresh tires, because you caught a few cars, but obviously way later in the run last time, and you might not quite know how your car's going to drive. You've been used to doing the same thing for the last, 54 laps, and could catch them by surprise.
Yeah, it's best to get back into that groove as quick as you can, else you risk losing a lot more time. Little update on those who got a couple of penalties. Alex Coffey and Shane Wyatt were your 2 unlucky contestants. Coffey is back up into the top 20. Shane Wyatt still sitting down in 27th place. Both of them trying to fight back and get back up front.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be quite a grind through the entire stage here. It's such a hard track. I mean, you can't stress it enough to make up track position, and this is not, a weak field by any means, so each position's going to be more difficult than the last, and they're all going to take true work to pick up.
See there at the top, we apparently have some beef going on in our YouTube chat. Yes, apparently 79% of our YouTube chat is beefing, so that's not good. What are you children fighting about in there?
Sim racing is a
we got
product.
we got the silly word being thrown. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm turning that off. That's getting a little too toxic for me. I'm kidding. Yeah, y'all behaving there. Anyway, back to the race. Shane Davis still pulling away. Coffey side by side with Darren Mills in that number 2 machine. I believe that is for 17th. It is. Coffey still to the inside. And this is the struggle with going to the back. Oh, Coffey spinning, saves it,
Nope.
maybe. Oh, no, he doesn't.
That's going to be a yellow.
That is a caution. Ooh,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know how much Coffey could do there, because we saw on our end that 2 blinked out. It would be interesting to see if that happened on his end as well. Definitely, if so, nothing he could really do. Obviously, has no quarterback cars next to him.
See here, ball on TV replay, Mills blinks out right there. You saw him. Blinks back in, and you see Coffey almost saves it, but overcorrects and ends up bringing a caution out. It is going to have to be another set of tires that goes on the number 19 machine. It's going to be one less set of tires Alex Coffey has got to use later on in this race.
Yeah, I mean, Coffey was definitely working at him for a while here. I think clearly the faster car, just, struggling to make the pass, as Darlington will be. And then they definitely touched before he blinked out, but, at that point, it's like, what can you do once you can't see the guy? You're still feeling the physical effects of the race car.
And he almost had that saved. If he doesn't overcorrect there, he saves that car, but it is going to be another thing on a long list of things that has gone wrong for that number 19 this year.
Yeah, I mean, just You know, when a guy can't catch a break, you can't catch a break, Nick, and it seems like there's just a continuation here of some really unfortunate circumstances. Obviously, speeding is on him. Can't really blame anybody else for that, but, you know, just got to do a better job to not put himself in that situation to where something that is out of his control can happen.
Yeah, and coming from someone who has been in a slump before like this, it does not seem to end. It just seems like the mistakes keep piling up. But, Coffee he's got that pace. He has got championship winning speed. He just cannot catch a break to start this year. I mean, you look back on it, the plate tracks were some of Alex Coffey's best finishes, if that puts anything into perspective for you. And it's been a rough year for that number 19, as he looks to get back onto a better note here, but it is a beast mode performance party up front. 3 of your top 4 are all beast mode performance machines, and your only Dig Esports guy in the top 10 is Blaine Wilson in 3rd, so beast mode definitely enjoying Darlington so far.
Yeah, definitely showing some really strong speed. I believe the 79 is, from what we've seen, obviously the fastest car so far. If Coffey can get his ship righted and get back up front, he'll be, in my opinion, the 2nd best car, and then kind of will have just that mix between the Dig and Beast Mode guys from what we've seen, you know, balancing out who's running up front.
60 laps into this race so far, 61 to be precise, as we're working our way towards stage number 2. That'll be the last time stage points are paid out tonight. It's going to be at lap 90, so about 28 laps to go. Or excuse me, 29 laps to go in the stage, as we're slowly working our way towards that stage break. Give these guys another chance to get some tires and cool off a little bit before we send them off again to finish off this race. So 245 lap stages, and then a just under 60 lap run to the end for these guys to get ready to go back racing here at Darlington. Beast mode up front, Shane Davis, Brandon Bikey, your front row as they roll towards the sim wrap marker restart zone. Green flag out in the air here as Davis gets another good start on that inside line. Bikey gets the countdown and gets clear of Blaine Wilson as they head down into 1.
Wilson's gonna try hard to slide up here in front of Kenny. Not quite clear. Oh man, that is tight squeeze. He's gonna get him here off of 2. Kenny kept his foot in there. That could have gotten really bad really quick.
Yeah, that almost got real ugly there as Blaine Wilson kind of forced the gap there. Coppola was feeling nice and let him in, but don't expect the niceties here in about 80 laps time, or excuse me, not 80 laps time, here in about 50 laps time as we start to close down on the end of this race.
Yeah, something interesting here is that wreck has essentially forced Alex Coffey onto an alternate strategy from the field, so I'm being really curious to see how quickly those tires make a difference for him, and maybe that could have been a blessing in disguise for his driver in 19.
Yeah, that's going to put him on basically the exact opposite strategy. He's going to more than likely bring it down at the stage and try to get back on the same strategy here, but he's definitely on fresher tires than the rest of the field by a pretty good margin as well. He's going to have about 15, 16 lap fresher tires on that number 19 machine, so he is going to have to go to work on passing some of these guys if he wants any chance of getting back up here. There's still a chance for stage points for that number 19.
Yeah, definitely going to have a good shot at it. You know, he'll have an easier time with all these passes now than he was having before, and definitely a really good race car. So right now up front though, not as much separation as we've been seeing the rest of the race on these restarts. You know, Shane isn't really pulling it away from his teammate here behind him. Wilson's keeping in tow. Kenny Coppola's right there. Wortman in 5th. Carmichael out back of him. Just really keeping it tight up front right now.
I wonder if these guys decided to back it up a little bit, these beast mode guys, because Coffey definitely caught Shane Davis pretty quickly there at the end of that first stage. So I wonder if these guys are just trying to save a little bit more tire in defense of the Dig Esports guys, who seem to have a lot better long run speed. Oh, Wes! Oh man, Blaine Wilson just got turned by Coppola. heading into turn 3. No caution.
Yeah,
Lane Wilson. Oh, man.
East Motorsports Performance Machine just kind of got into the back of him there and sent him sideways. Probably not going to be too happy with that if I had to guess. Definitely not how you want to be raced.
Look at an RS button boxes replay here. Coppola gets a really good run off of turn number 2. Just drives straight through the back of the 18.
Yeah, I mean, nothing the 18 did wrong there. I don't know, maybe Kenny felt like he was more alongside than he actually was and just broke a little bit later than he should have. Just got him a little sideways, but, you know, no damage, no harm, no foul. 18's got a chance to recover and get back up there and battle later.
Here we go, though. Victor Pfluger tried to get to the inside of Aaron Matthews, I think. May have been Barry Sanders, actually, but a little bit of beefing going on here. Excuse me, that was Justin Belmonte he tried to get to the inside of.
Yeah, there's you know, they may have been backing it up front, Nick, but they have not backed it up back here in the mid-pack. They are racing the hardest they've raced all day.
These guys are looking like they're racing on the last lap of the Daytona 500 back here. Meanwhile, up front, it's just another Sunday stroll. My goodness, the difference the difference 12 positions makes.
Yeah, just, you know, like you look at like the 18, he's right back here in the middle of all of this now. He was up there in third, just cruising, so he's holding on for dear life and just, oh man, they are all over the place back here.
Yeah, this is usually where our mid race, just where we just watch these guys throw haymakers at each other. This is kind of where it starts to take over.
God, they are loose back here, man.
These guys are throwing haymakers left, right, center, up, down, north, south, east, west. Any direction, they're probably throwing it.
Yeah, they're not careful. We're not going to have race cars to finish the stage, let alone the race. I mean, these guys are... oh my God, again, this is getting really intense.
Pfluger got very close to the rear end of the 81 of Barry Sanders. Keep in mind, this is all for 11th place.
And there's guys just driving into the wall by themselves right now, too. Like, we saw V8 on the front of that battle. He's just on his own. He caught the wall out of two. Just, I don't know what, we got a full moon tonight here or something, but they are driving these cars right now.
Nah, they're just fighting for stage points here. That's all they're doing. Colt Bliskowski is that car they got to catch if they want stage points. So, unfortunately, beating each other over the head for 11th is not going to warrant in many stage points.
Well, now we got a car going to the top here. That's always a really good line for 3 and 4 later in the run. They're still, I mean, man, they're even pretty packed up front still. This has been a complete 360 from what we were seeing earlier in this race.
Yeah, Darlington tends to switch up like that as starting to get later and later in the day here. Air temp, that's why these guys are racing so hard. Air temp sitting at a cool 69 degrees. Track temp sitting at 97 right now, so that's why these guys are so racy.
That's definitely going to allow them to start pushing their cars. Oh, man, the 3 gets sideways there off of that turn. Oh, and, there's Coffee again. That's Alex Coffee, another big issue off of turn 4 for him.
Coffee with another big slide.
He's still making contact here in 1 and 2. Coffee is with the 2 again.
Yeah, he is not hanging around whatsoever. I believe we may be looking at a replay here. Yes, we are. As you see, same spot as last time. Yep. Literally the exact same spot.
Hard didn't blink out this time, though. This was the contact I was talking about 1 and 2 afterwards with the 2 car. Just, I don't know. He's got the fresher tires right now. He's probably pushing as much as he can to get the stage points. You know, you're down a set. You got to try to get something out of it. I understand why he's pushing that hard.
Yeah, he is a man driving pissed off right now. He has been in 2 separate accidents so far. Somebody
wailing the apron back there now too. These guys are just, gloves have been off this entire stage. This is some great racing.
Yeah, these guys have thrown any perceived niceties heading into this week out the window throughout the midpoint of this race. As Shane Davis still leads Brandon Bikey, who leads Kenny Coppola. Beast mode 1, 2, 3. As of now, Tim Wortman Jr. is just barely hanging on to the rear end of these top 3. But back behind them, it is a couple of more tenths back to Hunter Carmichael and Kevin Ruff. Sean Rogers, though, he's worked his way up to 7th after starting at the tail end of the field. Blaine Wilson sits 8th. Mullins and Blaskowski round out your top 10. As we're getting closer and closer to paying out some stage points here.
Yeah, some intense racing here further back. We have Luger on the inside of Aaron Matthews. They've had a couple of close calls during this battle. Can't really sort it out who's going to lead who. Almost get into each other again there in 1 and 2. I think the 5 is definitely...
we're
3 wide down the back.
3 wide heading into turn number 3, and Alex Coffey is in the middle of this hornet's nest right now. He just caught up to these guys, and he's probably sitting here thinking, what the heck? Oh, and he makes contact with Paul Gallimore off of turn number 4. But he saves it, keeps it straight, but he was almost sideways coming off of 4.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get a replay of that one, but from what I saw, the 11 kind of just got loose and came down into him that time. I don't really think Coffey did anything wrong on that one.
Got Coffey working his way through these guys, trying to get back up into the top 10 here. Definitely still has a chance at getting some stage points. He just needs to get past this pack yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got 10 more laps to do it, and he's got to get through this group and then another group. It's going to be quite a tall task at this point. That 5 definitely stacking this group up a bit, which has been kind of leading some of the melee in behind them.
Now here is the one advantage for Coffey. This is technically one of the shorter races of the year since they do Xfinity Series length races. It's only 147 laps here at Darlington, which isn't a very long time. I mean, we're coming up on lap 100 and we still haven't even hit an hour since the drop of the green flag, so I guess the one advantage is he doesn't have to worry about tires as much as he's going to get turned into the outside wall by Paul Gallimore. Yeah, Gallimore wrecking down the back straightaway.
Just don't really understand, you know, why we're...
season continues.
We'll break this down here for you. Obviously, he's giving his teammate a push here down the front stretch, trying to get by Chris Davis, and they get into each other just about there, which checks him up a little bit. Coffey coming off a 2, he lifts for them, gives them some space, and yeah, I mean, the 11 just went for too tight of a gap. I mean, it existed, but it was bound to cause a wreck. Coffey was trying to cut the guys in front of him a break and got ran over.
Talk about Chris Davis counting his lucky stars. He is about 2 inches from being in the outside wall as well. We look on board with Paul Gallimore in that number 11 Beast Mode machine. Off of turn number 2 here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not a gap. I mean, when you're dragging the car against the fence to fit your car into the space, it's not a gap.
Another kick to the teeth for the number 19 machine of Alex Coffey.
And that one's gonna hurt. Big damage.
Yeah, big damage to that number 19. See him rolling down pit road there towards his pit stall.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm telling you, that summer arc is going to be crazy for Alex Coffey. I can already see it.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, obviously the incident there and the previous incident for Coffey, both kind of out of his control. That one definitely completely out of his control, just got hit from behind. But, you know, he sped and put himself back there when he was running P2 in the race. So you got to clean up the pit road mistakes, because you put yourself around these guys that, like, I mean, they race really hard in the mid-pack. That's just the way racing is, and it's a lot harder to make up the spots back there, and you can't put yourself in that situation, because you keep putting yourself there, eventually it does bite you.
Coffey, a part of the Dig Esports crew, who just recently signed with Precision Speed Solutions to become one of their partner teams. And it's been a good start for that team. They had a pretty few good results since launch. I mean, Corey Moore was up front all night at Martinsville. Coffey had a chance to win that race. Blaine Wilson lost that race by 16 thousandths. And of course here they've shown pace, but I mean, Beast Mode has always been good at Darlington, and they are really exercising their strength here so far.
I'm just going to take a moment to note the producer has apologized for implying so ridiculously that a hot dog may be considered a sandwich.
Oh, so our YouTube chat is completely unhinged from what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Good to see that our YouTube chat has not changed one bit. I haven't even been paying attention, but I can already tell. It has been an interesting night there. Well, we're coming back to another restart here. Pit stops were a big order as we head towards the Sim Wrap Market restart zone. Green flag back out in the air. I would not expect a lot of racing here as we get towards the end of the stage, as a lot of these guys took fresh tires and probably are not going to pit here at the stage break.
Yeah, but the guys up front, they're going to be racing really hard because those are the guys going for the points that are on the table here, and they're going to be coming down pit road after. As contact with the wall there for, I believe that was Kenny Coppola out of turn 2.
Everybody hitting the wall as they exit turn number 2, down into turn number 3. Tim Wortman Jr. to the inside of Coppola. That is for third position. As Coppola holds that outside line, he's going to get a good run off the corner. And shocker, look up front. Where have we seen this one before? Bikey chasing Shane Davis down for the stage win. Coming up on 4 laps to go in the stage. Davis with a good run starts eking that advantage out over Bikey. But Bikey stays in the draft as they head down to 3 and 4.
Yeah, Bikey's just quietly been biding his time most of his race. Obviously had really good pace the entire time, been up front, but really starting to show some muscle here on this restart. Maybe he's going to see if he can get up there and get his Beast Mode teammate for the stage win here as they're running 1, 2, 3 here as we come down to the end of the stage.
Yeah, they are pulling away once again from the rest of the field. Bikey and Davis, the only ones in the same zip code right now, as they head down into turn 3 once again. Ooh, Bikey got a pretty good run through the center there, but Davis gets back on the gas sooner as he comes off of turn number 4 to take 3 to go here in the stage.
Definitely close enough to mount the charge here. All it's going to take is one little slip from the 79, or Bikey got really close to the fence there, but he's going to get a great exit off of 2 at that angle. I think he's got a chance to get his teammate here if he sets it up right.
Not quite. Down into turn number 3.
Oh, he hit him!
Gives him the bumper. Gives him the bumper in the middle of 3 and 4. Off of 4, coming to 2 to go here in the stage. Bikey gives the bumper to Davis heading into 3 and 4.
Yeah, no team orders here in Moonshiners. This isn't F1, so these guys are going to be racing each other.
Off of 2. Bikey gets another good run. Davis maybe a little bit tight here to end the stage. Not quite a move from that 27. We're coming to the white flag here in stage number 1. Off of 4. Davis still has the lead.
Man,
Just
look
a
at the big
tenth at the
smile
line.
on Mikey in that cockpit there. He's so happy right now.
Oh yeah, we've been making fun of that all year. As coming off of 2, Mikey has another good run. A very good run this time. He's not going to take it though. Through 3 and 4. Bikey going to take that outside line, but it's not going to mean anything here. As off of turn number 4, maybe Davis going to sweep the stages here tonight.
And Bikey did what he could there. Definitely believe that contact was incidental with how he approached the final corner of the last lap of the stage there. But a great battle between those two, some real entertainment, and Beast Mode puts their cars 1, 2, 3 here to finish the second stage.
So for the second time this year, Shane Davis has swept the stages in a race. The last time he did it was Las Vegas, but he ended up, I don't think he ended up winning that race though. To go back and look, but I think that was the last time Davis swept both stage 1 and 2.
They're gonna catch the pace car here down the middle of the back. Almost actually had some contact there between the teammates again under yellow. And they'll be looking to pit here this time, Nick.
Actually, I lied. Shane Davis did win Vegas. And he did win both stages in that race. So the last time Shane Davis swept the stages, he ended up winning the race as well. As pit road is gonna be busy once again, as a lot of these guys came down pit road under that last caution. So a lot of these guys not willing to push these tires any further.
This is going to be a really important pit stop. You got to get everything you can here, as it could be your last stop under yellow this race and a really good opportunity to make up track position.
They're going to be coming up on 55 to go, coming off of pit road. So for all intents and purposes, if it goes green, this is the money stop. Four tires and fuel for the majority of the field. Davis pretty comfortably wins that race off of pit road. Still beast mode 1, 2, 3 here.
No changes there among the front runners.
So it's exactly as we left it before pit road. Davis, Bikey, and Kenny Coppola. Wait, did Coppola get a speeding penalty? No, he didn't. My bad. But Davis, Bikey, and Coppola come out 1, 2, 3 off of pit road. Tim Wortman Jr. comes off in 4th as we're here for the Thomas Mullins 200 at Darlington Raceway here for the OB Builders Cup Series. If you're just now joining us, we welcome you on in 94 out of 147 here tonight. Been a very, very fun race, as coming back to restart here in stage number 3. Just finished up stage number 2, so no more points going to be given out till the end of this race. So we got a little bit of a mix-up up front. Chris Davis, Victor Pfluger, your front row. As Corey Moore and Shane Wyatt make up row number 2. Actually, we're going to have one more lap here of pacing.
Well, lights are off on the pace car, it appears.
Well, I got confused. I thought we were coming off of 4. I don't have my updated camera packs, unfortunately, so I'm still on the... Actually, yes, I do. What am I doing? Nah, we're good. It looked like we were coming off of 2 there, so my apologies. Or coming off of 4, my apologies. But now we're coming off of turn number 4, headed towards the Sim Wrap Market restart zone. Going to be Chris Davis, Victor Pfluger up front. Davis going to have control. Green flag out in the air here. Davis, it's a good jump. A little bit of wheel spin there for Victor Pfluger, as a lot of these guys were on old tires in your top 5.
Yeah, definitely going to need to be really careful if you're one of the guys who just pit there and has been running up front getting through these guys. Probably haven't raced with these guys so far tonight, obviously, if you're Shane Davis, so just don't want to make any mistakes. And, oh, 2's in the wall hard in front of them right there off of turn 2.
Clean so far. 3 wide further back in the field as they head off into turn number 3. Everyone keeps it clean and green, though, as fresh tires just still trying to get those tires up to temp. Top 5 are all on old tires right now, so nobody really changing anything just yet as we start off stage number 3. Chris Davis going to stay your leader, but Victor Pfluger looks racy.
Definitely looking pretty good here so far. Some battles up here still in the top 5. Be interesting to see how well those tires hold on. Obviously, those guys had the plan of staying out, so I doubt they pushed them really hard. So he shouldn't be too easy of a pass for Shane Davis, but obviously he's got the better tires underneath his machine right now.
Yeah, this is going to be the first time as well that Shane Davis is really in a lot of dirty air. As I mean, the only real dirty air experience he's had tonight was just passing a couple of lap cars in stage number 1. So he looks to the inside of the 23 of Shane Wyatt. That is going to be for 5th. Wyatt going to use the dirty air to his advantage and stays in front of Shane Davis as a couple guys hit the wall off of 4.
And Wyatt almost got turned right there. We were really tight out of 4, and he caught the wall a little, which could have spelled disaster, but he didn't lose too much momentum, and he'll hold on to P5 for now.
That has got to be one of the most satisfying camera angles I think I've ever seen. Sorry. Just had to say that there. That was a nice looking camera angle there as they work their way through 3 and 4. Victor Pfluger and Hunter Carmichael side by side for second. As Carmichael gets past that number 43 machine. And he has worked his way from 5th up to 2nd as Davis to the inside now of Shane Wyatt. The fastest lap for Barry Sanders, which I think was immediately taken by someone else.
Got some of the guys that stayed under, but starting to fall back into the clutches. The guys have been running up front here. Shane Wyatt's getting passed by Shane Davis. And
man! Hunter Carmichael, wow!
And these guys have been full of big moments off of turn 4 today, but he's going for the lead after that.
Carmichael goes from sliding off of 4 to taking the lead and smacking the wall in 2. And now getting
run
up
for
the
Victor
lead again.
These guys are definitely making Shane probably a little bit uncomfortable behind him. He's like, just sort it out. Let me get through.
Davis up to 4th behind Victor Pfluger. These guys are still racing like it's the last lap. We just crossed triple digits here tonight as got 46 laps to go here at Darlington, closing in very quickly on the closing stages of this race. Hunter Carmichael leads it, looking off the front end of Shane Davis in the 79. He's been your leader all night, dominated this race so far, won both stages, and he is in dirty air for the first time here tonight as he works his way into turn number 1. Looks like he's pretty content just riding for now, as he looks to get past the 43 of Victor Pfluger. Pfluger is going to defend. Davis going to poke the nose and make a run to the inside for 3rd.
He's just so much better than these guys on exit right now. Obviously a great race car. He's been up front earlier, but having the fresher tires right now too, I mean, it's only going to be a matter of time that he gets through them.
Yeah, you just got to be careful to not burn your tires off trying to get past these guys as Coppola gets up into the wall in the middle of 1 and 2. It's going to be all about not burning your tires off, getting through the traffic, and I think that's exactly what Shane Davis is doing. But right as I say that, you take it up to the top line to get around the 43 of Victor Pfluger.
He's got a pretty good run there up around the outside. Gonna try to force Victor to lift here into turn 1, which does look like, no, he's gonna try to fight back on the bottom here. This probably won't last for long. He's gonna slide in behind Shane Davis.
That got a little tight there. As Coppola now looks to the inside of the 43 of Pfluger. Davis sets his eyes on his brother, Chris Davis. That is for the lead, or excuse me, that's for 2nd spot as Hunter Carmichael. Oh, Coppola spins off a 4, saves it though.
What a save.
Keeps it going, wow.
Didn't really get to catch live whether he came up there or Pfluger came down off the wall before, but definitely some contact sent that car aside.
Look at the replay here. As this is coming down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Coppola dives it to the inside. I think just gets tight here. Yeah, just gets tight,
Yeah,
gets up
got
into
into the
43.
side.
Oh my goodness, that was 2 degrees of rotation for being a death sentence.
No harm, no foul though. 43 kept it completely straight. He was fine. Kenny just made a little mistake and lost some track position himself, but he'll definitely be able to try to march forward and make a recovery here.
Well, Shane Davis made quick work of his brother, and he's currently chasing down the 3 car of Hunter Carmichael. And we're back well on our way to a Shane Davis dominating performance.
Yeah, definitely some major props to Carmichael here. I mean, you look at what he's done this run compared to everybody else on the same strategies. I mean, he has gapped all those guys quite well. So 3 cars definitely figured something out here and definitely showing the most speed he's shown all night.
Yeah, for sure, but he is definitely burning those tires off as Shane Davis hunting that number 3 down. Further back here, Tim Wortman Jr., Blaine Wilson were side by side for a moment. Oh, Wortman Jr. hits the wall. Car further back goes sliding off of 4.
14 of Huff, or Rough, sorry.
Gavin Ruff almost goes sliding off of turn number 4. As these tires definitely seem like they're starting to even out pretty quickly here. Blaine Wilson to the inside of Tim Wortman Jr.
Gonna get really tight to his door here through the center of the corner. Gonna try to keep it down off of him on the exit, and side draft doesn't quite get the run. It's gonna leave him open to Sean Rogers now trying to pass him.
Sean Rogers, your winner last week at Martinsville, to the inside of the guy he beat quite, what's the word I'm looking for, controversially last week at Martinsville. He's battling Blaine Wilson for 7th. Now, I know you weren't here last week, Jeremy. I don't know if you watched this race at all or whatnot, but Sean Rogers, he restarted 2nd to the outside of Blaine Wilson. And in the restart zone, he moved down almost over an entire lane before the start-finish line. And these guys have a rule which states that you are not allowed to change lines before the start-finish line. And that ended up losing Blaine Wilson that race by 16 thousandths of a second. And of course, Sean Rogers had to serve that EOL at the start of this race as a result of that. So Rogers keeps the win, keeps his playoff eligibility, but had to start at the rear end of the field, and he's gotten himself back up into the top 10 tonight.
Yeah, that incident seemed to be the origin of some of the beef that our producer was referring to in the chat earlier, but Shane Davis has to run for the lead here now down here in turn 3.
Thanks to the inside of Hunter Carmichael. This is looking off the back of the 3 car. Let's see Shane Davis just chasing him down. He is just playing with his food at this point.
I really can't stress enough, this 3 has done an incredible job given the situation he's on with the alternate strategy. Just really holding his own right now and making this pass difficult for what's been the best car tonight.
Now, if fate was actually here, you know exactly what would be getting ready to come out just now, but I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to jinx it. But Hunter Carmichael needs one of them if he wants this strategy to work out for that number 3. And our producer just said the word, so if one comes out, you can burn him at the stake. Don't do it to me.
Definitely starting to spread out a little more. We're going to get to that point in the run where it's, you know, more difficult to find one, but I mean, he's holding his own. Like, Shane had that little run out of him, but then Carmichael stretched it back out to a couple tenths here. I mean, Shane's definitely still a little bit quicker, but I don't know if he's faster enough to make the pass right now with the dirty air being a disadvantage.
Yeah, definitely evened out. Oh, Davis gets into the wall there. Davis definitely burned his tires a little bit more trying to get through the traffic than we originally thought. Because we thought this was going to be an easy, just slam dunk pass for Shane Davis, but Carmichael has either found something with that number 3. He did hit the wall in the middle of 3 and 4, but Davis hit it equally as hard off of 4. But Carmichael, he is surprising us here with how well he's running, especially with dealing with Shane Davis.
Yeah, I think the guy to keep an eye on here right now would be Bikey. He was definitely better than Davis at the end of the previous run. And Davis has looked to be pushing his stuff pretty hard right now. Bikey's in that clean racetrack and no pressure around him, able to take care of his tires. I think by the end of this run, he could definitely be in the conversation for the win.
Yeah, this is almost exactly how Phoenix ended. Shane Davis had to pass somebody. He ended up battling too hard in the middle of stage 3.
Oh, contact with the wall.
Carmichael, oh no, Davis down. Caution is out. Davis gets
the 3 got the caution he needed, but oh boy, he kind of caused it.
Oh my goodness, Shane Davis just about got nailed 3 times there.
We'll have to take another look here, but I believe the 3 got into the fence when the 79 was coming up on the corner, and just, you know, the change in speed left the 79 with nothing he could do.
Just nothing he could have done here. I mean, Davis was
he kind of got there before the contact in the wall. Yeah, that's...
Yeah. You see here. 1, 2, wow.
I mean, that's irresponsible. There's cars coming. You can't just cast it up and almost take them out.
Well, pit road's going to be busy here. Because, we're going to have 30 laps to go here. Currently, going to be restarting with about 27 to go in this race.
Yeah, I mean, that's just some hard racing. I think Shane probably thought the 3 was going to have more momentum on exit and misjudged it and kind of drove into him and spun himself. I mean, he was looking right at those cars. I really don't know what he was thinking right there, though. He's lucky he's not hit one of them.
All right, well, Hunter Carmichael definitely has some damage on that number 3. I don't know how much he actually has. It didn't seem to hurt him too much. But Hunter Carmichael is definitely the biggest gainer here, I feel like.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
definitely gained the most from that caution coming out.
even if he's got damage, yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't necessarily think he's going to be fixing it, but really good stop for the 43 car. He beat out the 3 and the 27.
He beat everyone out 3 wide off of pit road here.
Was that 2 tires for the 43? Or was that just
No.
a really impressive stop?
That had to be a really good stop. He was stopped way too long for that to be 2
Nope,
tires.
2 tires.
Oh, it was 2 tires. I'll shut up. My bad. So strategy definitely coming to a head here late on at Darlington. Pfluger takes 2. A couple of people stayed out, I think, as well. Nope, nobody stayed out. So Victor Pfluger with the 2-tire call is going to be, is going to be your leader here to restart this race. Probably going to have about 27 laps to go. So 2 tires, that's a risky call, but it could work.
Yeah, I mean, 2 tires, like, can be decent here. A lot of laps left, honestly. We've seen a lot of sliding off of 4, so that left rear tire definitely matters. I would be cautiously optimistic, though, in the situation. With the clean air, I think he can put himself in a situation for at least, like, the first 10 or so laps of this run where he's not going to be at too much of a deficit. But the question mark's going to be, how's it going to drive for, 20 to go, 10 to go with the older lefts?
Yeah, you have a lot of cars behind you that realistically have a shot at this race. I mean, Hunter Carmichael, he's definitely been the surprise so far. Brandon Bikey, he definitely has a good long-run car. Blaine Wilson, don't count him out ever if he's in the top 5. Kevin Ruff has shown some speed. Chris Davis has led a couple of laps as well. I mean, realistically, you got 6 or 7 cars that could still win this race if things get turned on its head enough. And it is Darlington, so do not be surprised if things do end up going sideways in the worst way possible for someone. But
And
coming up
now
to another
Coffee's up to 10th.
Coffee back up to 10th as well. That's something else to keep an eye on as we enter the sim wrap market restart zone. Green flag in the air, wheel spin there for Hunter Carmichael from that 2nd spot. And now Brandon Bikey going to be to his inside heading into 1.
Exactly what Pfluger wants in the rear mirror here. Get some side-by-side racing behind you. Get yourself a bit of a gap and see if you can make those 2 tires do a little work for you.
A little bit loose there from the 3 of Hunter Carmichael. Carmichael to the rear end. Carmichael looks to the outside. Nothing doing. Off of 4, Pfluger going to get the lap lead point here tonight. Sends it off into turn number 1, being chased. And I mean chased by Hunter Carmichael.
Yeah, I mean, the 4 tires definitely looking stronger here. I think the 3 was a little bit better.
Oh, man. Brian Curry just drifted the exit of turn 2. I think that was Brian Curry.
Did a good job holding on to contact here between Ruff and Coffee back here.
Ooh,
Still
man.
leaning on him, man. He did not want Coffee to get by there.
Pardon the pun, but getting a little rough between those 2.
Coffee up 7th. That was a really good restart for him. That 19 car might be back in it, and that's going to be somebody to keep an eye on here as the 3 is still working over the 43 on 2 tires.
Yeah, you got to remember, Coffee had the 2nd fastest car to start this race. And his biggest competitor, Shane Davis, who got spun on that last caution, is still sitting down in 26th spot. So your biggest competition, if you're Alex Coffey, is nowhere in sight. All you have to do is focus on getting in front of the 6 cars in front of you. New fastest lap there as well from Sean Rogers. First car into the 28s tonight.
I've been interested to see a lot of the fastest laps tonight have been coming from guys in the mid-pack. The leaders have been, traditionally where the fastest laps come from at Darlington, but, just with the different strategies mixing up on the front. Oh, big slide for Carmichael.
Oh, no! Oh, and Bikey's involved as well. Pfluger gets turned. Heading into turn 1. No caution. Fluger gets turned into turn number 1. No caution comes out. We stay green. Bikey was involved as well, and now I believe it is Hunter Carmichael. Actually, no, it's Brandon Bikey, your leader. We need to go look at this replay. What just happened?
Side drafting gone wrong again, or did the 43 turn himself?
Oh, caution's out now. I think they threw it late.
No, we have another wreck. I believe it was the 54. Mullins, yeah, he's on pit road now.
Yeah, Randy Mullins.
Oh, we'll take another look at this here first.
See this heading into 1.
I can't tell, to be honest, Nick. You know, it kind of looks like the 43 might have come down, but it could just be, you know, the angle playing a trick on us.
Get a good look here from the helicopter cam. Zoomed in on Victor Fluger here. Oh, what it was. Mikey gave a huge shot to the 300 Carmichael. And I think that got Carmichael just loose enough to push the air onto the rear end of Fluger there.
The 54 Mullins, I think, is what we had a caution for here too, Nick, if we could get a look at that.
So that was not the cause of our caution. That was a completely separate incident. There was another caution, or another accident that happened further on in the lap. We're thinking it may have been Randy Mullins in the 54. Here's a replay. We'll see what happened. Looking at Randy Mullins here off of 2. Looks like he's a solo. May have gone back too far.
I did just want to touch back on the Fluger incident. I just took another look myself, and actually with taking a look at it, the 3 did just kind of drive into his left rear fender. 43 was driving straight. Just kind of unfortunate there for him.
Yeah, here it is. He gets the inside. Oh, man, this is a... Oh, wow.
They were trying to avoid the wreck with the 43. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't see this first time.
Big damage, but he's still straight. So that wasn't the yellow.
Yeah.
He had to spin later.
Yeah, so he gets to the inside of Fetter Place there.
He got a little intimate with Fetter Place there in the 1.
Yeah, so that was the original wreck. That didn't bring out the caution. We're assuming...
Oh, and then they crashed again in front of this? What is...
So, Belmonte and Brian Curry.
And then he got hit.
Man! He got driven through. I think that was Barry Sanders that he hit. That was the cause of the yellow right there. So, you remember when I said this race had the chance of getting turned on its head?
It just did.
Yeah, in the worst way possible.
I mean, that was a huge, like, string, like, they wrecked, the caution was a wreck into turn 3, but it really all started down the front stretch. I mean, it just was kind of the wreck that never ended, really. Just a bunch of different little things trickling into each other, a big butterfly effect. So, a lot of guys with damage. It'd be interesting. Bikey took a massive shot to the left rear. I can't believe that car's okay if it is, but if it is, he's got a really good shot to win this race now.
Yeah, he basically got broadsided by Victor Fluger there heading into 1. Definitely some damage on that 27. You can see it. Just not sure how bad it actually is as we're coming to another restart here. So we got coming up to 20 to go here at Darlington. Brandon Bikey driving towards the Sim Wrap Market restart zone. Green flag out in the air. Going to get a good jump on that outside line, and he's going to try to get out as far as he can.
Carmichael's still out here too. Definitely got a little bit more damage on that one. He's been involved in the last 2 incidents. I don't know how that 3 car is holding up as strong as it is. He's gonna almost got in the Blaine Wilson there.
Oh, there goes a car
in the
spinning.
back.
Shane Wyatt to the inside. Hits the wall hard.
Won't be a caution for now. He's gonna get that thing going. We're still green.
Yeah, no yellow. Bikey pulling away from Coppola. Coppola very loose off the corner. Gonna look at the replay here. See Wyatt. Kyle Larson, the inside wall. Back live here, Coppola trying to chase down his teammate. Bikey, though, with a huge lead here. As we got a hornet's nest forming further back. About 8th on back there. Starting to get a little wild.
There's a lot of stuff going on here. This race has definitely gone through some massive swings here. Bikey just went purple, I believe. Yes, he did. And we have a caution.
fastest lap there for Bikey at 28.837, quickly followed by a caution. It looks like Brian Curry gets spun in the middle of 1 and 2. Quick replay here. It's Greg Carr to his inside off of 4. Oh, went for
not clear.
Had to cut off the gap.
Yeah. Just one of those things. I mean, it's Darlington. Probably thought it was more important to try to get that gap and risk wrecking the car, but unfortunately, he
definitely got a clear call there. That's definitely why he came down.
It's one of those ones though. When you're entering turn 1 at Darlington, I feel like you need to be aware of
here.
Close.
Watch this. He's clear here. Has the clear call, but Greg Carr got such a good run off of 4 that heading down into turn number 1, I mean, he had so much more speed compared to Brian Curry that, I mean, not really anywhere to go. You see, there's the run.
Just some tight racing at Darlington, not much car to do there.
Racing incident there as pit road going to be somewhat busy here from some people. Not really anyone in your top 10, though.
Carmichael, and he was running up front.
Carmichael's the only one out of your top 5 that comes down pit road. Don't look now. Alex Coffey back up into 5th. A couple other guys starting to get back up here. Corey Moore in 8th. In 9th. He started 23rd. Kevin Ruff started 14th. He's been up here all day. Chris Davis started 30th. He's in 4th. Kenny Coppola started 29th. He's in 2nd. Bikey started 10th. He's up in 1st.
The biggest mover here today so far is Kenny Coppola and Chris Davis as well, with 26 and 27 spots gained respectively since the start of this race.
Yeah, they started right next to each other, and now they're up front here. Coppola in 2nd, Davis in 4th. This is going to get interesting to finish this one off. Going to be coming up to 15 to go, more than likely, when we take the green flag. Actually, going to be 14 to go when we take the green. So 14 laps sprint to the finish. Going to be a big test. Who's got the short run car here? We know Beast Mode's got the long run speed. Does anyone behind him got that short run speed to get past them, is the question, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a good long run car at Darlington, I tend to think you have a good short run car too. You just got to choose to drive it that way. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff they could have done with adjustments throughout this race too to make it better for certain situations. And it's going to be intense here. It's going to, you know, 14 to go at Darlington's, that's some white knuckle racing.
Well, this isn't the crown jewel Darlington race. This is definitely a race you want to win. As we're on board with your 3rd place car, Blaine Wilson. We're actually going to take the restart on board the number 18 here. So pace car makes the hard left turn back towards pit road. Brandon Bikey, Kenny Coppola, teammates up front. They control the start of this race. As we head towards the Simrat Market restart zone, green flag back out in the air. Wilson with a big jump here. Bikey wheel spins just a little bit. Blaine Wilson side by side with Coppola down into turn number 1. Coppola gonna squeeze up. Wilson fights back on that inside line. Contact between these two off of 2.
And Wilson did a great job on the restart there. Got a huge launch. He just, I don't know what it was, but it just kind of lagged through the gears. I don't know, Coppola got on his door really tight and slowed him down, but couldn't really keep that momentum rolling forward. Coffey's going to be looking for P4 here on Chris Davis.
Oh, man, almost gets turned off of 4. Loses that battle for P4. Gets back up in front of, I believe that is Brian Curry. It's actually Tim Wortman Jr. Sorry about that. Too many tag cars. But Tim Wortman Jr. on the rear end of number 18. Nigel Christensen goes spinning. That is going to be a caution. And we're going to re-rack them and restack them one more time here from Darlington. As you see, Christensen, he lost that early in the corner. Wow.
Yeah, not a guy we've seen a lot today. Been kind of quiet. Some contact from the 11 in the center
Ooh.
corner. I mean, just
Yeah, that's why he spun there. You see him get really loose, just never
Yeah,
really
he
stopped
ended up-
spinning.
like he ended up like I could see like how looking at the replay, it may look like he had a save there, but the contact from the 11 is what caused that wreck because he's completely off angle and he's trying to exit the corner with no angle to exit the corner, which is why it's going to snap out like that. So, yeah, just some contact from the 11 leading to the wreck there for Nigel.
Unfortunate there for the 20 of Nigel Christensen as he becomes the latest victim of the
That
top
91 car, I
200.
haven't seen that one today. That was a beautiful throwback back there.
91 of Nicholas Atwood. A nice, good looking throwback there. Actually, that's his normal scheme.
Oh, it is? I thought it was a throwback to one of those WCW cars that ran in the Busch Series back in the day.
Yeah, I see it. I see why you think that. But
Blaze
no, that's the
Alexander,
scheme.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the scheme he's been running all year. That number 91.
Great looking car nonetheless.
So this is going to get fun. We got, what, 10 to go now. Probably going to be 8 to go when we go green. Unless we take 1 to go here. Actually, no, it's going to be coming to take 2 to green here as Matt Mackin just got the wave around. So it'll be 8 to go when we go back green. We know Blaine Wilson can get a really good start on that inside line. He's just got to be able to fight back against Coppola on that outside.
Yeah, these yellows have been exactly what Bikey needed to, because I mean, you just have such an advantage as the leader on a restart here, and even that last restart where it looked like the 18 had a great launch and could have stayed with him, just it completely dissipated, and just once they got down to 1 and 2, it was clear sailing for Bikey.
Yeah, if you're Blaine Wilson, you have to do whatever you can to just fight back against Coppola, because you know Coppola is going to try to squeeze you down in turn 1 as much as he can.
We did take 1 to green here.
We did. Interesting. I just saw the wave around. I thought they were going to push it to 2 to green there,
Probably
but
was just lagging a little behind on taking his lucky dog.
fair enough. Well, like I said, it's going to get good. Beast Mode runs 1-2-4 right now. Or excuse me, 1-2 right now. Dig Esports running 3-5. So that is your main battle to watch here.
Track temp is the lowest it has been all day. 88 degrees currently. It's a lot of grip for these last few laps.
Oh, yeah. Expect some fast lap times here as before that last caution, Bikey set a 28.830 to take the fastest lap. Do not be surprised if that gets close to the 7s and the 6s by the end of this race. Alrighty, here we go. 9 to go here. Coming to 8 to go. Bikey, Coppola up front, Wilson and Davis 3rd and 4th. Coffee and Wortman 5th and 6th. Green flag back out in the air as Bikey gets another good jump here. Wilson gets a little wheel spin in the second phase of this start. Coppola going to be clear heading down into turn number 1.
That is great news for Bikey as he's got a teammate clear behind him, and Wilson's going to looks to lose P3 here as well off of turn 2.
Oh, we're spinning further back. Spinning off turn number
huge contact
2.
with the inside wall. They're still green.
No caution yet. They're still rolling further back. Bikey has the advantage now. Coppola chasing him down. Wilson to the inside of the 74 of Chris Davis. Oh, gives him a little bit of a hip check there headed down into turn number 1. Oh, contact between those two. Davis almost gets turned by the 18 of Wilson. Davis slams the wall.
There we
Wilson
go.
hits
Huge
the wall hard.
hard.
Oh my
Huge
goodness.
hit.
Coffee.
Are we still green? We're still
nails the
green. We are
inside
still
wall.
green.
Still green.
Somehow we are still green.
And that
It's
just
a
all
two-car
but
race.
locked up.
There's the caution.
There's the caution. Yeah, we're under caution right now. Another fastest lap for Kenny Coppola. Wow, 28.714. We are already faster than our qualifying times. If that was running qualifying for Kenny Coppola, that would have put him pole by over 200s. As we see, this was a multi-phase wreck here. we're still looking at Christensen here. This was Blaine Wilson and Chris Davis off of 2.
I think this may be the incident that could have triggered the caution because we stayed green from that incident.
Yeah.
No, maybe not.
No.
It looks like Victor Pfluger got turned off at turn 4, which is what triggered the caution after the big wreck down the back.
And here's the replay. See Davis and Blaine Wilson make contact, and then all hell breaks loose from there. Coffee hits really hard on that inside wall.
Him and Davis hit a ton.
Yeah, Davis caught air as well. Look on board with Alex Coffee. See, kicks off in front of him.
Yeah, he got hit from
Nowhere
behind.
to go. Boom! Ouch! Wow.
Yeah, he definitely got hit from behind there, causing that incident. The start of all that definitely looked like Wilson just kind of got into the side of Davis and triggered all that. And then here, yeah, Pfluger got turned out of turn 4, and that is what brought us under yellow.
You want to know something absolutely funny? Shane Davis, who got turned 32 laps ago, is sitting in 7th place now.
Now that might not be a sight that Mikey wanted to see.
No. But luckily for that 27, he's been able to get such good restarts that it really doesn't mean anything. So if anyone is able to get past Coppola, I don't know if anyone will be able to catch Mikey in time.
Pfluger hit the wall and then just kind of came down the racetrack into the car below there. Just, you know, it's been a little bit of a sloppy race so far, especially. First stage was, you know, a little bit here and there sporadic, but relatively cleaner. But since then, you know, they've just been racing so hard.
Well, we're coming back to 4 laps to go here at Darlington. Coming down to the closing stages, just over an hour and a half, an hour and 37 minutes to be exact, since the time we dropped the green flag. Actually, no, I lied, a minute 33, or I lied again, an hour and 33 minutes, there we go, since the time of the green flag dropping. So we've been moving pretty quickly in this one. We're coming up to another restart here. Beast mode still 1-2 on that front row. This time it's Kevin Ruff and Tim Wortman Jr. as the ones who are trying to challenge. As Mikey rolls towards the Simrap Market restart zone, gets squeezed down a little bit by Coppola. Green flag back out in the air here. Coppola actually got a pretty good restart there, but Mikey's still going to get clear of his teammate as they head off into 1.
It definitely hung on the right rear a little bit there, just not quite enough to be there on side by side entering turn 1. They're going to be racing Trevor Novacich here. Yeah, definitely a big moment from Ruff underneath of Wortman there. They are stacked up. The top 2 are gone.
Yeah, that basically locks up a win here for Beast Mode. Just going to be a matter of who wins this race out of these two. It's Kevin Ruff and Tim Wortman Jr. still fighting tooth and nail. We're actually wrecking further back. Look at that, Justin Belmonte. They just got sent to the inside wall. Still green. There's the caution.
12 car in turn 1. Nick King.
Nick King. Overtime.
Not what Mikey wanted to see.
Nope. See there, Nick King gets turned into 1. Oh my goodness.
Massive hit for that Precision Speed Solutions machine right there. Wow.
Brian Curry just saw God. Wow.
Just another guy just kind of turning across somebody in the turn 1. It was Carl last time too, I believe, that somebody did that off of. So I believe it was Curry who did it to Carr the time before as well. Just a wreck that came full circle here.
Getting a little bit sloppy here to end off this one. Nick King gets turned into turn 1, and Brian Curry nowhere to go. That car is done.
That's one that will actually hurt if you have a direct drive wheel. I mean, for Curry's sake, I hope he does not.
Yeah, that is a wreck right there. That not only scares the crap out of you, but it can hurt you too, like you said.
No changes in the front running here. Looks like the order is still relatively the same from the previous restart.
All right, so green-white checkered here for only the second time this year that we've had to use a green-white checker. I believe the only other one was Daytona. But the rule is for these guys, they only get one attempt at the green-white checkered. So if they screw it up here and the caution comes out before Brandon Bikey takes the white flag, then this race will be over. Brandon Bikey will win, but they have to get through and get to the white flag if they want to race all the way through.
Yeah, if I'm a betting man, which I am, I would probably be leaning towards them not getting to the white flag just based off of how this race has been trending here.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that ends up happening. There's a lot of these guys just trying to get any sort of track position. Have made the last 20 or so laps a little bit chaotic here, but coming up towards the end of the scheduled distance here tonight. But we get 3 extra laps of racing here tonight. Probably going to end up being 4 extra laps, but I don't think I ever heard anyone complain about free racing.
I'll tell you one thing that will change on this restart from the ones we've been seeing most of the night. No countdown will be coming for Kenny Coppola here.
Oh, no. I wouldn't even expect a countdown for Coppola.
Definitely gonna make it interesting to see if, like, that 83 times this restart, well, he could get close enough to Bikey in the one to maybe clear Coppola and have a chance at him himself.
I've seen some people say this has been a rough race. Yeah, those races happen. I mean, coming straight from Martinsville, it's probably one of the trickiest tracks on the service. Is not an easy stretch for these guys, but we take it to Bristol next week, which should be a lot better. That one's going to be fun. Same time, same place next week here on Ballin TV for Bristol. But we're coming to what is expected to be the final restart here tonight. Brandon Bikey, Kenny Coppola, once again, your leaders up front as they head towards the Sim Wrap Market restart zone. Green flag out in the air. Bikey jumps it, hits it early. He gets way clear of Kenny Coppola down into one.
Big thing here for Kenny Coppola is he is clear as well. Now, Tim Wortman got a big run in the one. That's huge for Bikey.
Bikey gets clear off down towards turn number 3. They stay clean down the back straightaway. Through 3 and 4. Nobody challenging the 27 of Brandon Bikey. Off of turn number 4. Looks like they're going to make it to the white flag. White flag in the air, presented by Elite Gaming. Brandon Bikey leads Coppola by about 0.3 of a second as they head down off into turn number 1. Bikey, nothing but clear track. No challenges whatsoever. Wortman hits the wall coming off of turn number 2, but down into turn number 3. No chance for Kenny Coppola. Through 3 and 4, and coming off of turn number 4, Bikey gonna take his second win of the season. Brandon Bikey wins Darlington.
Just a great drive by Bikey, taking advantage of some other people's misfortune. Definitely had a car that was more than deserving to win the race, and was able to hold on through a bunch of late restarts to get that win.
Brandon Bikey, Kenny Coppola, Cabin Ruff, your top 3. Sean Rogers, after starting from the back, brings it home in 4th. Tim Wortman Jr., Shane Davis, Corey Moore, Brandon Fetterplace, Aaron Matthews, and Paul Gallimore round out your top 10. So now we get to watch Brandon Bikey burn it down as he gets to take it to VanLilly Stickers of Victory Lane here from Darlington.
Looks like we're gonna take a Kurt Busch reverse victory lap here around this raceway.
He did the exact same thing at Phoenix when he won earlier this year. This is starting to become a staple for the 27 of Bikey as he goes on to his reverse victory lap. We'll go ahead and send it to our final commercial break of the night. Stay right here. Post-race results and post-race interviews are next here on Ballin TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we welcome you back to Darlington Raceway here. Just finished up the Thomas Mullins 200 here from Darlington Raceway. 150 laps here tonight. Got a little bit of extra racing courtesy of our one and only green-white checkered being used for the second time this season. We'll run you through our official race results. Brandon Bikey takes home his second win of the year. Going to put him in a really good spot points-wise. Kenny Coppola comes home second after a couple of weeks of bad finishes for that number 77. Kevin Ruff with his best finish of the year. He's going to come home in third spot. We will speak to those three here in just one moment. Sean Rogers comes home in fourth. Tim Wortman Jr. comes home in fifth. Shane Davis, after getting turned late on in this race, dominating the first two stages, is going to come home in sixth spot. Corey Moore comes home seventh. Brandon Fetter place in eighth. Aaron Matthews in ninth. And Paul Gallimore rounds out your top 10.
Jeffrey Taylor, the first car to miss the top 10 here, finishes P11 in the 9, followed by Darren Mills in 12th. Nigel Christensen, after having some issues very late, came back to finish 13th, followed by his teammate Blaine Wilson in 14th. Greg Carr, 15th, after an eventful race with a few cars on front of his nose, followed by Justin Belmont in 16th and Barry Sanders in 17th. Alex Coffey, one of our big contenders to win today, had some unfortunate luck and found himself in 18th. Rounding out the top 20 were Jordan Schmitz and Victor Fluger.
Finishing off 21st position tonight, Jamison Middle Miss. Shane Wyatt is going to be the final car finishing on the lead lap in 22nd. Matt Mackin finishes in 23rd. Nick King in 24th. Colt Bliskowski in 25th. Brian Curry comes home in 26th. Johnny Shade in 27th. Chris Davis comes home 28th. Hunter Carmichael and Nicholas Atwood round out your top 30. And 31st through 35th is as follows: Randy Mullins, Chris Crosby, Jared Clark, Ryan Huff, and Matt Cox round out your 35 car field here tonight. And we're going to go and kick us straight into our post-race show, starting off with interviewing our third place finisher, Kevin Ruff, coming home in third place. This is your best finish this year. Walk us through the final few laps of that race.
I mean, it was just chaos. It's like I was telling Kenny and Brandon in the waiting room. This league, man, there's just no give and take. It's just it's cutthroat, and it's different than another league I run. Just trying to survive, man. There was a lot of chaos. I took 2 tires on that last pit stop and did a +2 on the left rear, -1 on the right rear adjustment, and it helped out a lot. I ran a lot of officials throughout the week in my Monday night league I ran in. If you were under 50 laps, you could do 2 tires on the right hand side, and it shot off like a rocket. So I had a great car. Just surviving really is what it was towards the end.
So you finished top 5 here tonight, your first top 5 of the year. Is this something more we can expect out of that number 14, looking as fast as you did tonight?
Yeah, I just had some bad luck. You know, obviously we had 4 tornadoes around me last week. Luckily, I was not within a 10-mile radius, so that's good. But we had some bad tornadoes hit around our area, so I started and parked last week just because of the storms coming through. And that sounds like I did not miss a whole lot, because that was a bunch of chaos as well. But yeah, man, I run consistent. I love the give and take. I love long run speed. You're definitely going to see me compete more and more. I got a great team over at Warrior, so we all help each other out really well. You know, Tim and them, they're great people to work with. So, yeah, I mean, you should see me more in top 10.
Yeah, Warrior getting their first win of the year. You become the fourth different team to win this year. What does that mean heading off into the playoffs here in just a few months' time?
Not a win for me. Not a win.
Yeah, it's not a win. My fault. Brain fart. Yeah,
no, you're good. You're good.
We're gonna send it off. Final thoughts. Well, how you feeling for Bristol? My bad.
No, you're good, brother. You're good. Bristol's a good track for me. I've recently upgraded. I had a Moses setup and Husetfeld pedals, and I've went full board into VRS. So I've jumped on the VRS for about a month and a half, 2 months now, and it's helped out a bunch, and it's going to help at a track like Bristol. There's just fine tuning in this VRS wheelbase that helps out a bunch on the long run speed, and I feel pretty confident going into Bristol.
Kevin Ruff feeling confident heading into Bristol. Congratulations on the third place, not the win here tonight, Kevin. Hopefully catch you next week at Bristol.
Thank you.
That's Kevin Ruff, your second place finisher. Now standing alongside Jeremy Miller is your second place finisher, Kenny Cope.
Kenny, it was a really hard fought run out there for you today. We saw you just kind of running second to your teammates, whether it be Bikey or Shane, a few times throughout the race. What more did you need out of the 77 to get up there and win that race?
More green flag laps, those cautions. Especially here, the leader has such an advantage because he can just hammer down through 1 and 2, and even starting on the outside on the top, you still got P3 sitting under. You can't really hammer down that momentum off 2 and get the run out you need to stay with Brandon. And that dude, he's just so fast. He's a heck of a race car driver, and I knew it was tough. I knew I was going to need a couple more green flag laps, and it just ended up turning into a caution fest there at the end.
Yeah, definitely a lot of wrecks, but I mean, you did a great job keeping that car clean, staying out of it. What was the key to that success today?
Well, I hit the wall twice in qualifying, so I had to start in the back, and I said, I'm just going to take my time. I haven't been in the rig for a couple weeks because I haven't been feeling too well, and I said, I'm just going to take my time, get my feet under me, and try to work my way through the field, try to get to the front. But these guys in this league are so competitive, and they race everybody so hard, it's tough at times. And it's probably why you see quite a few cautions come, because you give anybody an inch in this league, you'll never get it back. They're that fast. So overall, just need a more laps.
Yeah, well, definitely looking forward to seeing you out on the track in the future. Hope you can get those green flag runs to find some success for your 77 machine.
Appreciate it.
That was Kenny Coppola, your second place finisher. Now we're going to get to speak with your race winner down in VANLILYS Stickers Victory Lane, Brandon Bikey, surviving the chaos there at the end somehow, and I'm going to call it right now, very luckily avoiding a wreck there late on in that race. You come home to survive and win here at Darlington. How are you feeling after that one?
I feel pretty great. I mean, that was, that wreck, I didn't avoid it, actually. I got into it, and I had some damage from it. He slid up the track. I think he's just stayed in the gas, and he came up the track and hit me pretty good. But, it wasn't damage on the front, so I was able to just keep it out front. And once you have the track position, restarts are super easy because you're not battling somebody. And, Kenny was super fast, but just the whole goal was to keep it out front and not let anybody else buy the rest of the race.
Yeah, that string of cautions definitely helped you in that 27. If that went green from the time of that, where you were involved in that accident, do you think you would have won that race?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I mean, I'd like to think I could because I'm pretty good at tire saving, and that's what I pride myself in. But Kenny is just so fast. I mean, he's just so good that I think he would have been tough. Shane would have been tough. I mean, Shane he was the class of the field, in my opinion, and just got unfortunate with getting into it with somebody there. So it would have been one of the three of us, in my opinion.
Now headed to next week there at Bristol, going from such a tire save heavy track to another track that requires a little bit of tire saving, but also has a lot more chaos. What's the goal for that 27 heading into that race?
You can't have a strategy at Bristol. Bristol's Bristol. I mean, you just gotta get lucky. That's all there is to it. I mean, it's rare that the fastest car wins. It's just like Talladega's and Daytona's. It's Bristol, so it's the fastest car rarely wins, and it's just whoever is in the right spot at the right time at the end of the race and is not dead.
Yeah, you end up being right place, right time here tonight at Darlington. Congratulations on the win. Who gets it done for you, Brandon?
Yeah, I definitely want to thank Team Watson Racing Setups. You can get that setup that Kenny Coppola built at twrsetups.com. I think, they are the most underrated setup shop in the game. And I think they're one of the best groups of people in the game. So if anyone, wants to just experience it, I think your first setup you download is free. So head over there, talk with those guys. We're in there a lot helping with those guys. And we're just friends with the whole group, and Kenny's setups are just amazing. So I want to thank Kenny Coppola and TWRS, and then which is Team Watson Racing. And then I want to thank my teammates, Beast Mode Performance. As you could see, we were just doing very well this race. We worked hard all week in practice, getting these cars dialed in and just being able to figure out where we can push it, where we can, back it off, and just how to save tires while still keeping ourselves up near the front. So we just push ourselves to get better and better. So I really appreciate those guys working hard and getting us where we need to be. So, and then, my family that watches this, I've got, my dad usually watches this. I got a bunch of friends that watch it, some cousins. So just all the bikey crew, and then, all the rest of my friends that watch it. And then everybody that's out there in the chat. I mean, and I see Kelly Coffey's always out there. I think Alex's mom, Matt Cox, we got a lot of people that watch and support us. So I appreciate all you guys for doing that. And then you broadcasters do a great job. So I look forward to watching this back, and thank you for what you do. And then Barry puts on a heck of a league every single week. So I appreciate him. And then if anyone's looking to sponsor somebody, I've been open. I don't have any sponsors on my card, just my team logos and stuff. So I'm looking at you, Purple Jesus Moonshine, because I do love me some moonshine. So if you're willing, I'm here. But thank you guys.
Oh, it's Brandon Bikey, your race winner here tonight from Darlington. Congratulations on the win, Brandon.
Thank you, brother.
Well, that's about it for us here tonight on Ballin' TV. Tune in next week there at Bristol, April 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern time, same place as every other Moonshiners Racing League event here on Ballin' TV. Before we send it off for the night, Jeremy, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a really entertaining race. A lot of carnage throughout the field, kind of flipped the race on its head a few times. Saw some comers and goers because of that. Saw an underdog almost be able to pull out the win in 3. It wasn't necessarily the fastest car, but got in a great situation. Did a great job holding off until he had an incident, unfortunately, with our other leader, Shane Davis. But ultimately, Bikey just, did what he had to do, had a really good car, and got the job done.
Yeah, definitely a good race to watch here. A little bit of a hangover from Martinsville, it seems like, but that should be fixed next week there at Bristol as we will head off towards the last great Coliseum. We'd like to thank everybody who does everything they can to help us here at Ballin' TV. Of course, all of our lovely sponsors, everyone here at the OB Builders Cup Series, everyone for the Moonshiners Racing League, and everyone here at Ballin' TV. Thank you so much for all the work that everyone puts into this league to make it as good as it is week in and week out. But that is going to do it for us here from Darlington Raceway. Brandon Bikey wins a amazing race here, and that is going to do it for us here tonight. We'll catch you later, guys. Stay safe tonight.